Welcome back, children. We will continue the chapter with a new topic, importance of traveling and names of land. Children, today people travel to different places to work, to study, to meet their relatives and friends, and to visit places and so on. And people use different means of transportation such as roadways, railways, airways, etc. So, for us today traveling is not a difficult task at all. But children, you just think about the people who travelled in the ancient period when there were no such transportation facilities at all. Children, in the past, traveling was very difficult for the people. Very often, they had to come across huge mountains, including Himalayas, seas, rivers, and deserts. These made their journey sometimes dangerous too. Still, people travelled from one part of the subcontinent to another part during the ancient period. Now, let us find why did they travel? Why did the early people travel in the ancient times? Importance of traveling in ancient times. Why did the early people travel? They moved in search of livelihood. People moved in search of livelihood. Then they moved to escape from natural disasters like floods and droughts. Then men marched in armies to conquer others' lands. People marched in armies to conquer others' lands. Then merchants traveled with caravans or in ship, carrying valuable goods to different places. Merchants traveled to different places carrying their valuable goods. Then religious teachers traveled from village to village and town to town to give advices and instructions to the ordinary people. They walked from village to village and town to town to give advices and instructions. Then children, some people travelled with the spirit of adventure. Some people travel with the spirit of adventure. People from across the country, across the borders, travel to settle down in India. They came to India to settle down. Children, I hope now you have understood why did the early people travel in the ancient times. All these movements led to sharing of ideas between the people. All these movements helped in the sharing of ideas between the people. And these movements enriched our cultural traditions. People have shared their ideas, new ideas of carving stones and new ways of composing music, painting, and even cooking food. They have shared over several thousands of years. I hope you all understood the topic. What is the importance of traveling in the past? Okay. Now we will move on to the next topic. Names of the land. Names of the land. Children, India has two different names. Our country has two different names, India and Bharat. Now we are going to see how did our country get these names. Children, the word India comes from Indus. The word India comes from Indus, which means Sindhu in Sanskrit. Okay. The word India comes from Indus, which means Sindhu in Sanskrit. About 2500 years ago, people from Iran and Greeks came through the northwest. People from Greek and Iran. So they were called Iranians and Greeks. So they came through the northwest and they called the river Indus Indos. Indos or Hindos. They were very familiar with the river Indus, which were located in the northwest. And they called the river Indus as Indos or Hindos. Okay, the river Indus is located in the northwest of our country. We have studied in the map. Then they called the land to the east of the river Indus as India. To the east of the river Indus as India. So the Iranians and the Greeks called the land to the to the east of river Indus as India. So now you have understood how did our country get the names. The name India? Yes. Now we will take the next name Bharat. In the ancient period, a group of people who lived in the northwest, they were called Bharata. Who were called Bharata in the ancient period? The group of people who lived in the northwest of the subcontinent. They were called the name Bharata and their name was mentioned in the Rig Veda. Bharata was mentioned in the Rig Veda. Children, you know Rig Veda is the oldest Veda. It is the oldest Veda and it was composed about 3500 years ago. Rig Veda was composed about 3500 years ago. You know children, Rig Veda is the oldest Veda and it was composed about 3500 years ago and it was composed in Sanskrit language. It was composed in the Sanskrit language. Later the name Bharata was given to our country. Okay, and thus our country got the name Bharata. Now we can understand that the names India and Bharata was given in the ancient period. Our country got the names Bharata and India during the ancient period. I hope all of you understood the topic. Children, now you want to read the textbook page numbers 3 and 4 and underline the important points that we have discussed today. Okay, thank you.